While The Fox and the Hound is one of Disney's most beloved classics, it tends to deviate from some of the more dramatic story elements. In the original 1967 novel, Todd the Fox inadvertently kills the favorite dog of a local hunter. The hunter then sets his second favorite dog, Copper, on Todd the Fox and begins a violent book-long chase to capture and kill him. The hunter succeeds in murdering all of Todd's friends, but can never capture Todd himself. In a last-ditch effort, the hunter orders Copper to pursue Todd non-stop, hoping that Todd will become too tired to run away. The plan is an overwhelming success as Copper chases Todd to the point where Todd collapses and dies of exhaustion. The novel ends with the hunter having to move into a nursing home, and since he is unable to take Copper with him, he opts to blow his head off with a shotgun. One of Disney's most underrated animated films and sporting some of the studio's greatest music, The Hunchback of Notre Dame was not the crowd-pleasing success Disney wished it could have been, but it very likely would have done even worse if they had stuck to the contents of the original novel. In the book, Hunchback Quasimodo does not take kindly to Esmeralda's lack of affection for him, and in order to stop her relationship with the sexy and heroic Phoebus, Quasimodo betrays her to the evil villain Frollo, who publicly executes her in the town square. Torn with guilt, Quasimodo then strangles Frollo and tosses him from the tower of the cathedral to his death. He then proceeds to dig up Esmeralda's grave and cradles her corpse for days until he starves himself to death. The two are discovered over a year later, but when separated, their corpses collapse into dust. Yeah, I'll stick with the singing gargoyles. While Disney's version of Pocahontas celebrates a strong, independent Native American woman who stands up to colonialists, the real-life Pocahontas was subjected to much more dire events. Estimated to have been around the age of 11 years old when John Smith and his settlers discovered her tribe, the two did not have a consensual budding romance. Instead, it's believed that John Smith raped and impregnated the teenage girl, only to force her into an abortion weeks later before he left the United States for England. Pocahontas was then abducted from her tribe, forced to marry Englishman John Rolfe, made to convert to Christianity, and then bore Rolfe a son. At some point in the years following, she was sent on a trip to London, where the English made a spectacle of her as a Native American who could be taught, tamed, and trained. However, she died on the trip, and an autopsy was never performed or documented to reveal the details of her death. One of Disney's biggest smash hits over the past 10 years, Frozen became an overnight sensation with its lovable characters and family-friendly adventure plot. But the original Hans Christian Andersen tale was much more bleak. It replaces the protagonists with a boy and a girl named Kai and Gerda, and presents a villain known as the Snow Queen. The Snow Queen stabs Kai in the eyeball with a broken shard from a troll mirror, allowing the boy to see the world in a negative light. She then kisses him to paralyze him and give him amnesia. He is kidnapped, and Gerda sets off on her own journey to save him. The Jungle Book has kept audiences laughing, singing, and dancing since the movie's debut in 1967. But Rudyard Kipling's original short story was much more graphic and violent than the cartoon. In the novella, Mowgli is rejected from humankind after he attempts to assimilate and plots revenge with an angry, malevolent elephant. Together, with the help of some other jungle creatures, Mowgli and the elephant parade back into the village and mercilessly slaughter every villager with extreme prejudice. I'd like to thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content, please subscribe to Top Trending.